Hey yo, what's up? In my movie reviews, I give you every juicy spoiler you might not want to know, and I do it in a goofy way that's not politically correct, so if that's not you, then bye-bye. Otherwise, let's go!
Hey, what's up, dudes and dudettes on YouTube? Yeah, nice voice, huh?
Alright, so look, we talking about Treasure Lies. I got work at 6 a.m. tomorrow, so I'm gonna breeze through this video. Maybe this will be one of my quicker movie reviews. So let's start talking about this movie. Is it garbage? Is it good? Let's check it out. So in this movie, we're quickly introduced to this guy named Sean Peterson, who is the main character of our movie. Bruh, you gotta get your brakes on your bike checked. They squeaking something horrible. Sean is a high school student who's about to graduate and is basically kind of, taking that transition leap into adulthood. Now, watching this movie, the first thing I noticed watching it is this dude's got a deep voice. I mean, check out his voice.
Hey, Mom.
Did you have a good day?
Oh, nothing I'd rather do than work all day on a Sunday.
Like, I was expecting like some little shrill high voice. Hey, how you doing? Like watching the movie, his voice is as deep as his dad's voice.
Hey, dinner's almost ready. Time to wash up.
Hey, Dad?
Yeah?
You have a minute?
So look, you already got a thumbs up from me.
Deep voice guys, they're the most attractive.
Not to me, to girls, because I'm straight. But like, for real, like I said, Sean's learning how to grow up. He's learning what it's like to grow up. This, inside the movie, is what it's like to grow up. So inside of this movie, one of Sean's biggest goals as an emerging adult is to buy a Jeep from his friend's brother. Now, first of all, let's talk about his friend. His friend's name is Tim. And in my opinion, Tim is the main thing that makes this movie worth watching. I mean, for real, most movies, characters are just corny. But this guy, Tim, in this movie, I actually think is hilarious. I love him. This moment with Tim is literally my favorite part of the whole movie. Sean is saving up to buy this Jeep because he wants to have a nice car to impress girls and be able to get a date with his big crush. Her name is Melissa Jacobson. She works at a gas station convenience store with him, but he feels like she's so out of his league because she comes from a wealthy family. And so he feels if he just had that Jeep and some money, he might have a shot to be with her. But he's skeptical, just like in his head there's like no chance. I'm like just like some poor boy while she's just like, woo! How you describe it, girl? She's woo. Now we see Sean's true angelic side with an old lady called Miss Wall. When I say old, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. Who decides to do her grocery shopping at a gas station convenience store? I mean, who shops for groceries at a convenience store? Maybe there's somebody that does, but I don't think I've ever met that one person in the United States who buys her groceries at a convenience store. But hey, I'm not gonna judge her. I'm pretty sure like nobody does their shopping at gas stations, but I'm gonna ask my old friend. He seems like an eccentric kind of guy, so he might be the type that would do something like that. Let's see. He never replied to my other one either. Every time that she comes, she buys a lottery ticket. I find it ironic to make a Christian movie about lottery tickets, but hey, it could work. Okay. Sean delivers her groceries to her every time that she buys them. He's a true angel, and she's a true angel. Two angels. So many angels. Isn't that great? So apparently Melissa and Sean are close enough that she actually invites him to play tennis with them.
Do you have work today?
No.
He acted like he didn't even know if he had work.
Want to play tennis?
I'm horrible.
Say no. Say no.
Perfect, then I'll kick your butt.
That's gotta be the nicest way I've ever heard anyone say, I'm gonna kick your butt. So while they're playing tennis, we find out that before the events of this movie, apparently Melissa's brother accidentally had an accident with one of Sean's brothers who was killed in the accident. So Melissa's father doesn't want Sean around because he's afraid that Sean's family is going to retaliate by suing them for the damages and the death of their brother. So because of this, there are complications with Sean wanting to be with Melissa. But Melissa she thinks Sean's family is great, and she wishes that her own family was like Sean's family, loving and caring, because, well, her family just has a lot of tension.
Thought you didn't want to live here anymore.
You kicked me out.
Now, why does the lighting keep on changing? It keeps making this side of my face too dark. Like, hey, how you doing? What's up? So the movie takes a huge turn of events when one night Miss Wall comes in and Sean doesn't realize until too late after she leaves the lottery ticket that she had was actually a winner. Since she's already gone, he can't give it to her at the moment and actually decides to keep it for himself. Bad boy. But in his head, like, this could be his break out of poverty, his chance to finally have money, because in his head, money is how you get people to like you. It's how you get people to care. Sean's life has just flipped around. But ironically, right after this happens, Sean finds out that his brother, the one who sold the Jeep, sold it to his parents. They simply bought the Jeep, spending the money that Sean didn't have saved up yet so that no one else would buy it first. So Sean is overdoing it. He got the car that he wanted.
Jeep.
Now he's got the shot at Melissa Jacobson. Oh boy. Yes! Yes! I get to go out with a girl! I'm so excited! Yeah, that's one of the lines from the movie, except for it's not. So, I mean, it works out. Melissa really does like Sean. Yes! I scored one! So they end up becoming great friends, their relationship blossoms, and Melissa ends up going to prom with Sean. It's like they're becoming great friends. But for real, we gotta talk about Sean's flirting habits. This is one of the things, like, this could either be cute or annoying, depending on the movie that you're watching. Like Star Wars, Attack of the Clones, the flirting is just annoying. It's obnoxious. It actually makes you sick to the stomach. It really depends on how you look at it. To me, it was kind of stiff, and I think it could have been made better. But to some people, it might just come off cute because Sean is a shy boy who doesn't know what to say.
Hitting it wasn't the problem. It was getting it into the square on the other side.
I think you gave me a bad racket.
Ah.
Seriously, look at all the holes.
So, that's the excuse you're going with?
I think it's probably the most viable one.
Wow, viable. Fancy word.
I like to impress women by using fancy words.
With Melissa Jacobson linking arms with Sean, he has a dream that he cashes his lottery ticket and becomes a millionaire, buying a new car, becoming one of the richest people in the area. But it turns out his dream, he turns into a total jerk so bad that Melissa ends up dumping him. Inside of his dream, he basically realizes money isn't everything and can't buy you love or relationships. And when he wakes up talking with Melissa and his mother, he realizes, you know what? They don't actually care about how rich somebody is. I wish I could tell you this dancing was part of his dream, but in the movie, it's real life. I was homeschooled. I didn't go to prom. Please tell me that's not how people actually dance in prom. Even though Melissa comes from a rich family, she actually enjoyed her family and her life better when they were poor, before her father got a business and went out and did his own thing. So, Sean is slowly learning that money is actually not the key to happiness in two relationships. So that is actually a great message. I feel that this movie introduces it well without being too pushy or too nudgy. In the meantime, this movie has some great relationship advice.
My grandpa told my mom that before midnight, the boy entertains the girl, but after midnight, the girl entertains the boy.
I love that! It's so good! For real, it is good. It just felt kind of weird in the way it was, presented. As As the ending of the movie approaches, Sean begins to take steps to make right some of the mistakes that he made. He tries to give Miss Wall back her lottery ticket, plot twist there that I'm not going to talk about, don't want to ruin the movie. He ends up going to Melissa's father in a very kind gesture. We're not going to talk about that too much either. And there's a good number of other things that happen in the ending, but I want to keep them as unspoiled as possible. So there's a lot of gems in this movie. My favorite part of the movie is Tim. Hands down, it's Tim.
You're my child.
It's not true. That's impossible.
Now, so here's my takeaway on the movie. We're going to talk about my thoughts, if anyone cares to know them. I don't know who would. But my first thought on the movie, one of the biggest shortcomings is the actors are kind of stiff. Mainly the two main actors, they were kind of stiff actors, and they were kind of new to the acting field, so I do understand that. But it was kind of off seeing them compared to some of the other actors that I think did an amazing job inside of the film, which would be people like Tim, Miss Wall, Sean's mother. I felt like they were exceptional actors. I do think as far as the storyline, the actors are very well developed, the characters are very well developed through the actors inside of the film. So I will give it that. I love how this movie is not too preachy either. It gives more of a storytelling approach versus a message approach, but the message is told through the story more than the story is told through the message. There's a big difference there, but I'm not going to get into it with this video. I also like how this movie doesn't show Christians as perfect. Inside of this movie, Christians actually make mistakes, because I can't stand movies like God's Not Dead, where Christians are basically perfect jelly beans and you can't prove them wrong. And the topic of this movie is great and much needed inside of this world, because so many people put emphasis on riches. If I just had this, you know, I'd be happy. Well, no, you won't. So watch this movie and you'll see why you won't. Actually, this is an amazingly clean movie. The only thing that some people might not like, it does have the word crapper, and it does have the word kick your butt, and it does have some very light, crude humor. Nothing actually that I was offended by, and I'm a very particular person when it comes to movies. So anyway, that is my review. I'm curious to see what you guys think. My battery light is blinking, so it's about to die. So this is going to be the quickest outro ever. Subscribe, or I will hunt you down and blow up your grass blades. I have no idea what that even means. That's like the stupidest thing I've ever said.
I'll hunt you down and pull down some statues in your front yard.
I'm just waiting for the battery to die now. He's blinking red. Is it gonna die? Let me hear Sean's deep, relaxing voice. I wonder if he'll see this movie review. He just might. When is the battery gonna die? You're running up my video time. I'm just waiting for you to die. I feel like a buzzard.